down here from Canada, and I am walking around, and I see an airplane that was designed by Dale Kramer way back in 1980, and this looks like one of the last ones off their line, called the Elite. What's the story behind this?
Well, this plane, Mike McCusick in Michigan told me about this plane. It was sitting in California, I was told, hanging from a ceiling of a department store, sporting goods store. And I called a gentleman, Ken 9, in California, and asked him if he had it, and he said he did have it, and asked him if he'd want to sell it, and he told me, and I told him I'd be down next week to get it. And I drove out to California and picked it up and a toothpaste that he had, and brought both of them back to North Carolina with me, and it's taken me probably 3 years to put it back in original condition and repolished.
So, did you have to do like a Ted Lard, a Mylard? And then...
No, this is the original Ted Lard that's put on it.
What year is this airplane?
It was built in 84, 85 is when it was. That's what I was told that it was.
Because this is with the wider landing gear and the type of control systems done. And like I say, it was one of the last ones.
It's the last ones that they made.
Yeah, and it's also got the JPX engines on it.
No, KFM.
It's got KFM. What's that? 24 horse?
23.
Okay.
23 at 6,800 RPM. Now,
do you fly this, or is it just basically as a show plane?
Show plane. I'd hate to be in the last of breed. It'd be terrible to tear it up and people not be able to see what one really looked like. A lot of people say, well, I've heard of them, and I've never really been able to see one. So basically what we're doing is letting something be shown that was never really to the full extent of what it should have been. It should have been a lot more made.
What kind of work did you have to do to get it into the shape that it's in now? I mean, this is mint. You could eat off of this thing.
A lot of hand rubbing and a lot of polishing. It was a lot of it already done when I got it, but I finished polishing everything. I mated the engines to the wings. They had never been mated to the wings. There was no plans on how to assemble the batteries or the starters, relays. I had to make all the necessary parts to put the starters and stuff on it, and it was just a lot of asking, calling people up and say, well, how do you think they done it, and making a lot of parts. But basically it's just been working from calling people up and asking them, because I tried to use a manual, but there wasn't no manual on the Elite to tell you how to do it.
Now, how did you, you just didn't all of a sudden say, oh, there's a guy in California that's got a Lazair, I'm going to go buy it. What gave you the idea to go looking for a Lazair in the first place?
I had a Series 2, and it's like somebody telling you about an old-timey Corvette. Everybody wanted one, but nobody ever really knew where they could get one, and I had that Series 2, and I'd always heard of the Elite. I wanted one, and when the gentleman told me where he knew there was one at, so I figured I better hurry up and go get it, because you just don't find them. There's just none around. And,
has this one actually flown at all?
Never has been off the ground. How many of them do you know?
Well, like I say, there is over 800 of them registered in Canada. I would think that there's probably maybe 200 or 300 flying, or in flying condition. I don't know how much flying they're doing right now. But Elite, like I said, the Elite model was one of the last ones off the line, and there just were not that many of them produced.
There's a gentleman in British Columbia has got one that's got an hour's time on it. He built it, crashed it, taking it off, and it still crashed. And matter of fact, I spoke with him a couple weeks ago, and he said that he would sell me the plane. Well, he'd sell me the engines and give me the plane. So that pretty well tells you what the plane looks like. So.
Now, if someone were out there and they wanted to contact you about getting more information, or if they had some problems, how would they get a hold of you?
Well, they could call Tony Gilbert in Denver, North Carolina at area code 704-483-5400. And we have covering kits for Tedlar covering kits for Lazairs now. We have 25 at the present time. That's the complete kit, the Tedlar tape, which is very hard to find, the adhesive, and also the foam. We have everything made up in a kit, ready to go, just like the factory produced.
You got an email address or website or anything like that?
No, at this present time we don't, but we have no problem shipping it to someone if they are interested in it. They can just give us a phone call and we'll be glad to help them out.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.